Hello friends, I am back for the part 2 on biography of Gupta Emperor Samudra Gupta. In this part, we would be looking at the South Indian campaign of Samudra Gupta. In the first part, we had looked at the early life of Samudra Gupta, his coronation, and the first Aryavarta war, in which he defeated three great kings or three kings of the north and extended Gupta Empire from Punjab to Bengal. And in this part, we would be looking solely at his South Indian campaigns. We would be looking at the route through which Samudragupta went, the kings which he faced, and the kingdoms and the regions through which his army passed. But before we go on to this, we should look at the quotes first. And the quote is I've taken it from the Prayagraj pillar inscription of Samudragupta. This is what Harisena had to say about Samudragupta, who being incomprehensible was the spirit that was the cause of the production of the good and the destruction of evil. That is what Harisena says about Samudragupta. Now, let's start with the South Indian campaigns. Now, friends, we must look at the fact that India in 4th century AD, or 4th century CE, was very different about 800 years ago when Chandragupta Maurya established the Mauryan Empire. When Chandragupta Maurya established the Mauryan Empire, Alexander had just retreated, and many of the republican states and kingdom had lost their entire manpower while fighting him, and hence it was very easy for Chandragupta Maurya to extend the Mauryan dominance up till northwest. But in the case of Samudragupta, the situation was very, very different. His his conquest in the south was not there to actually capture and hold on to the territories. The socio-political environment of India in the 4th century was not similar to what happened about 4th century BCE, and hence Samudragupta was only uh, on his campaigns in the south was only there to make sure that he is acknowledged as the sole sovereign of India. So and this is his campaigns have been detailed in the Allahabad pillar inscription, and this campaign, South Indian campaigns, have been sandwiched between the first Aryavarta war and the second Aryavarta war. So if we take it as a chronology, then the first Aryavarta war happened. After that, there was the South Indian campaigns, and after that, sorry, after that there was the second Aryavarta war. And his conquests in the south were marked by three features. Uh, this is Grahana, which is the capture of the enemy, Moksha, liberating the enemy, and Anugraha, favoring the enemy by reinstating his kingdom. So, Grahana is, of course, it means capturing the kingdom of a particular king. Moksha, liberating him, or giving, or there would be some kingdoms who were liberated from any tyrannical rule. And then Anugraha, favoring the enemy by reinstating, which means that the lands which were captured by Samudragupta's army, they were returned back to the defeated king. Now, why he did so? He did because he did not want to capture all these territories. It would have been a huge task. So simply administer directly all these vast regions. So the best thing would be to capture a particular enemy's kingdom and then reinstating him, so that the particular enemy or the particular king will be your lifelong ally. So this is how the three features, the conquest of the south were marked by these three features. Now, this as I had repeated, this policy is taken to be the only policy which a conqueror could pursue in the distant south, where Samudragupta was only anxious that his position as a paramount sovereign of India should be recognized. But secondly, there were also strong possibility of controlling the trade routes. Now, there have been since last 2000 years, or at least second century BC, there were lots of South Indian ports who were trading with the Romans, the Arabs, the Byzantines, and up till Southeast Asia, Korea, China, etc. And it was a possibility that if Samudragupta had control of these trade routes, then he would his kingdom will be much more prosperous due to control of these trade routes. So this is also a possibility when Samudragupta started his campaign of the south. Now this is the map of Samudragupta's route. I'll just magnify it, and you could see the marked area right from Pataliputra, and he went through the regions of modern MP, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, and to Odisha, Andhra, and he went up till Kanchipuram, 72 kilometers south of Chennai, and then came back via different route, crisscrossing the area of modern day Maharashtra, MP, and then into Patliputra. So this was Samudragupta's route of the his South Indian campaign. Now, the first kingdom, we would be going through all these kingdom one by one, which are described in the Allahabad or Prayagraj pillar inscription. The first one, the kingdom mentioned is Koshala. So this is southern Koshala, which is capital at Sripura. So Sripura is modern village of Sirpur in Chhattisgarh, and it also included the eastern and southern regions of MP and Chhattisgarh. So we have the district of Bilaspur, Raipur, Sambalpur, and parts of Ganjam district, which were part of southern Koshala kingdom. The king which Samudragupta defeated here has been named as Mahendra. So Samudragupta first target was the kingdom of Koshal, and after defeating the kingdom of Koshal, he went further. And the next one is Mahakantara. This is into the Vindhyan wilderness, and the chief has been named as Vyaghra Raja, or the tiger of forest. He's named as Vyaghra Raja in the Prayagraj pillar inscription, and he was the feudatory of Vakatakas. So Vakatakas in the time of Samudragupta controlled a huge territory into from modern Maharashtra, but they were not in a very friendly terms with Samudragupta. We know that Vatakatas, uh, after Samudragupta, they became an ally of Gupta Empire, but during the time of Samudragupta, that was not so. And this Vyaghra Raja, he had a son called Jayanta, who was of Uchakalapa dynasty, and his son has been named as a contemporary of Chandragupta too. And so his father, Vyaghra Raja, was the contemporary of Samudragupta, and Samudragupta destroyed this his army and went further. Now the next kingdom is Kaurala. Now historians have tried to identify this place as to two or three locations. One is the Koleru Lake in Andhra Pradesh, which is identified as Kaurala. Another one is the Sonpur district of Odisha, whose capital actually was known as Yayati Nagri on the banks of Mahanadi river. And there is another option identification which has been done, which is Korada, and it is a small village in the Vishakhapatnam district or in the Srikakulam district. So these are the three places uh, which historians have tried to identify as Kaurala, mentioned in the Prayagraj pillar inscription. Next, we have Pishtapura. So this kingdom of Pishtapura is the modern Pishtapuram in the East Godavari district, and it was under its king called Mahendragiri, whom Samudra Gupta defeated. Next, we have Kotura. So after Pishtapura, Kotura is variously being identified as Kothur in the Ganjam district of Odisha. Sorry, or a place called Katura at the foothills in the Vishakhapatnam district of Andhra Pradesh. So this is Katura and it has been identified into two, either it is Kothur or it is in the Ganjam district, or either it is at Katura in Vishakhapatnam district of Andhra Pradesh. Now we have Irandapalla. So the next king mentioned was Damana of Irandapalla. Again, this place, there is no one consensus as to where this Irandapalla is, but there have been few theories by the historians, and one is Arandol in the Jalgaon district of Maharashtra. Another one is Irandapalli, a town in the Vishakhapatnam district. And then there is Yandapalli in East Godavari and Endapalli in Andhra Pradesh. So we have done from Pishtapura, Kotura, Erandapalla. Now Samudragupta has now crisscrossed Chennai and is into Kanchi, 72 kilometers south of Chennai under its king Vishnugopa. We can clearly see that Vishnugopa was ruling in about 345 CE, and that would make the dating of Samudragupta's campaign possible. Then we have Avamukta. So after Kanchi, Samudragupta defeated the kingdom of Avamukta under its king called Neela Raja, and it must have been a small state in the neighborhood of Kanchi and Vengi. So Neela Raja may be connected with Neelapalin in the Godavari district, and he was a member of Pallava Confederation fought by Samudragupta. So Samudragupta may have had to face a coalition of kingdoms under the Pallava kingdom, and Neelaraja and Vishnugopa may be leading those, may have been leading that coalition. So next we have Vengi. So Vengi under its king Hastivarman, and Samudragupta, while he was proceeding against Kanchi, would not have left this king who was in his rear. So he conquered this king as well. And as I had said just earlier, he had to give battle to a coalition of Pallava king, Vishnugopa and Hastivarman also. So these all coalition gathered under one banner and tried to protect their confederation against the armies of Samudragupta. Now the next one is Palakka, and the king mentioned here is Ugrasena of Palakka, and Ugrasena is a place in the Malabar coast. So some historians identified in the modern Nellore area of Tamil Nadu which was a seat of Pallava viceroyalty. But some identify it as modern Palakkad in Kerala, which is northern parts of Kerala. So Samudragupta defeated this king as well, and then he marched on. We have Devarashtra. So Devarashtra is under its king Kubera. So a copper plate inscription of King Bhimavan mentions Ilamanchi, which was a part of Devarashtra. Ilamanchi was the capital of Kalinga Desa, and it is identified as modern Yelamanchi in the Vizag district. And the last kingdom mentioned in the Allahabad pillar inscription is Kushthalapura, and the king mentioned here it's Dhananjaya. So this place has been identified with Katalur near Polilur in the Arcot area of Tamil Nadu. So friends, we have these are the 12 kings and the 12 kingdoms which Samudragupta defeated in the south. This is this inscription is also corroborated by Kalidasa when he wrote his Raghuvamsham. He clearly states that Raghu, who went up till south, defeated 12 kingdoms, and that Raghu is nobody else than Samudragupta himself, because Kalidas clearly mentions that Raghu captured or defeated 21 kingdoms. Samudragupta defeated 12 kingdoms of south and 9 kingdoms of north. That makes it 21 kingdoms in all. So, and as per as the Prayagraj pillar inscription, Samudragupta, as we had discussed in our last chapter, last part, he had to defeat 3 kings of the north in order to consolidate his position, and only after that he started his campaigns in the distant south. And the route which I have mentioned here is that route is traced in the light of order in which campaigns are recorded in the Prayagraj pillar inscription. So we have the first name of Kosala, and then we have uh, Vyagraraja and others. So it is in that order in which these battles or these kingdoms have been mentioned. So we have now discussed 2 campaigns of Samudragupta in our 2 parts, and we would be looking at the second Aryavarta war as well in our next part. And along with that, we would also look at the personality of Samudragupta, which is mentioned as per the Prayagraj pillar inscription. So I thank you all for all your suggestions and everything. Please connect me on Twitter. My um, n- uh, the Twitter thing is mentioned on the description column, and I'll catch you up maybe next week. And we'll look at the second Aryavarta war and the personality of Samudragupta. I thank you all. Have a good day. Bye.